Yenda, the MK political party hosted its very anticipated press conference where they announced their appointed top 8 leadership structure. Of course, in the leadership structure, you've got the president of the MK political party, which is Jacob Zuma, the deputy president of the MK political party, Dr. John Shope, the secretary general, which is obviously Dr. Sifiso Maseko, the deputy secretary of the MK political party, which is Unombuso Mkize, the national organizer of the MK political party is Floyd Shivambu. And also you've got the national chairperson, which is Unkosinati Ntleko. And then you've got the deputy national chairperson, which is Wilson Sibiluane, the treasurer general, which is Menzi Magubane. Now, I want to speak about the secretary general of the MK political party, Dr. Sifiso Maseko, who, after the press conference, went and did his media obligations. He went to SABC and then he went to Newsroom Africa. I want to expose the mainstream media for the type of stupid questions that they are asking the MK party, trying to discredit the MK political party from every angle. But that is why you come here on King Said So, because here you get journalism that is not biased or captured by white monopoly capitalists. Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Because we believe that what stands between us and what we want to do is our inability to unite. It's the oppressed failing to unite. It's people who are unable to do what is right and unite around a principle, regardless of their differences. It's actually why the system sustains itself. It's because the system always throws our own against us, and we allow ourselves to differ about little things and forget about big things. And our biggest enemies as we sit in this room now, if I ask you to close your eyes and think, what is the biggest problem in South Africa? Who are our biggest problems in South Africa? I bet you won't think of Magnus Malan. You won't think of B.J. Foster. You won't think of Adrian Flock. You would think of people like yourself that you've created in your mind as your enemy, when actually it's the system that put us here, and we must be able to do something about it.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Says So. I'm your host, Kagiso Shongwane Zinjiva Sono, Mr. Easy Imali Enengi, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I'm covering the MK political party successful press conference where they announced their top 8 leadership structure. I'm very impressed with the names that are there. I'm looking forward to see what these leaders can offer the African people of South Africa and in Africa at large. Now, the Secretary General of the MK political party, Dr. Sifiso Maseko, after obviously having this press conference, all the media companies wanted to speak to him. All the mainstream media companies, the ones that are always trying to shoot down the MK political party, did not miss on this invitation to invite the Secretary General to say, listen, Secretary General, come, let us talk to you and interrogate you much more. But the Secretary General was up to the task. And many people like myself thought that the Secretary General would be Floyd Shivambu, but it looks like they had another plan for Floyd Shivambu, of which was the plan that we all thought, the role that we all thought that he will play, and that is organizing the branches and everything from the ground up. Now, Dr. Sifiso Maseko went to, which one must I start with? Let's start with Newsroom Africa. Such a disappointment of a media company, Newsroom Africa. Their presenters can't hide their biasness. They're always trying to shoot down and discredit the MK political party. He went there and got an interview. And guess what was the first question they asked him? How long would you last?
Well, for more, we're joined by MK Party Secretary General Dr. Sifiso Maseko. Dr. Maseko, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much.
Firstly, congratulations on your new role, being appointed as the SG of the Mkhonto Wesizwe Party. How long do you think you'll last in that role, considering you're the fifth one in under a year?
No, thank you very much. I'm not concerned about how long I'll last. I think what is important to all of us that are part of the leadership is that collectively we subscribe to an ideology that all of us are very clear about. And to that effect, it then becomes important that what I do is to ensure that we lay the foundation for a well-structured organization, that even yourself, when you come, you can say, at least there was a leadership of Maseko towards this. And as long as I'm in this a portfolio, or I'm in this leadership role, that's what really I should be focusing on.
The Secretary General position in any political party carries a lot of weight, and it comes with a high level of responsibility in protecting the political party. Now, Dr. Sifiso Maseko was asked the question, how long do you think you are going to last? I find that as an insulting question, really. I find that as an insulting question because there's so many other relevant questions that mainstream media can focus on. The aims, the goals of the MK political party, what is their policies on certain matters like land and everything. They never ask any of those questions, but rather they do person targeting, where they try to discredit the person and discredit the organization to say, how long are you going to last? Dr. Sifiso Maseko should have been arrogant here and answered this lady properly and put her on her place. Understand? I think for him, he's got a character that is very laid back, chilled, laid back, that makes you think that he does not, he's not up to the job, but he is definitely up to the job. I mean, he ran Baragwanath Hospital, one of the biggest hospitals there in Gauteng. So for me, it's disrespectful to ask such a question. It's the first time they've announced me in public, and you're asking me how long am I going to last? Huh? Really? This is what mainstream media does. And of course, I'm going to last, because the question they wanted this type of answer, of which I would have answered it like that. I'm going to last as long as President Jacob Zuma still feels that he needs me and I'm still doing a good job. Full stop. Whether that is 2 weeks or whether that's 4 months or that's 2 years or maybe up until 2029, it does not matter to me. How long I'm going to last is not a serious question. The question is, what impact am I going to have in this position? That's a better question to ask. That's what you are supposed to tell that little lady. Just says. And that lady has got a nerve to ask, why should Jacob Zuma get a third try at presidency? Because remember, this is what white monopoly capitalists fear. In the ANC, they had some type of control because there were factions in the ANC, and the ANC was bought from day one. From 1994, even before that, it was bought through the negotiations, everything. So the ANC was not a vehicle that Jacob Zuma could use properly. And now this lady is asking, what could Jacob Zuma do different?
The list goes on. But Dr. Maseko, this is a man who already has been the president of this country. He already was the deputy president of this country, and he's been a part of government since the formation of democracy. So why should anyone believe that now suddenly, when he is given a third chance, because it would be effectively a third term after serving 1.5, almost 2, that these things would be fixed suddenly?
I was also a member of the ANC, by the way, since 1994. And the reason why I was a member even from unbanning of the ANC is because I personally, let me talk about maybe the personal experience. I personally felt that the ANC is a liberation movement. The policies of the ANC then when we joined were clear that they are pro-liberation. They were clear that at least they were going to make a change in terms of the communities. Over the years, as one being the member, I've seen the ANC change from what it stood and from what it was in terms of policies, but practically from what was sort of happening. I think for me, it's then got hijacked. That's how one has been able to see in terms of that transformation. So I think we're at a stage where the ANC, which also President Zuma was for, it's no longer able to push the liberation agenda. And personally, I'm grateful that at least President Zuma was able to then form the Umkhonto weSizwe Party. And as we know, that the only time that you pick up a spear is when you want to defend something. So it's at a point where we need to defend in terms of what we have gained. We need to push for what we always believed in terms of that, which is really, as you correctly have put it, transform the economy.
I like what the Secretary General said. He said, listen, the ANC is hijacked. This is an ANC that was hijacked long time ago. Even during Jacob Zuma's time, the ANC was hijacked. Jacob Zuma was destroyed and taken out because he was moving on a different lane. He was not following or towing the lane like Mandela and what's his name, Thabo Mbeki or Kgalema Motlanthe or Cyril Ramaphosa. From all those presidents, Jacob Zuma was sticking out like a sore thumb. He was different from them. Was during Jacob Zuma's time where we saw a rise of black millionaires. You guys said, no, it's corruption. We said, no, it's not corruption. It's transferring of wealth. During Jacob Zuma's time, black people started to find their purpose in South Africa. In Eskom, everywhere, black people started eating. You guys, it's tenderpreneurs. Tenders were always there, even in the apartheid government. It's just you Africans were not will not be able to participate in those tenderpreneur biddings. Back in the days, it's a system that has always worked, has proven to work in government forever. And it helps, it helps create jobs and all of those things. No, the state does not have the necessary expertise to do all of these jobs because it's not classified properly. There's no capacity, from the states in terms of the workforce that it has. So sometimes you just have to list some type of jobs so that other companies can come and work. And then you do BEE promotion. You make sure that you empower black people to better equip themselves to compete in the private sector. That is what is happening here. And that's what happened during the time of Jacob Zuma. The ANC is gone. The ANC as we know it is gone. It took people like Jacob Zuma to realize after he was president to see, it looks like I have to leave this party because it no longer represents the ANC that we once knew. Jacob Zuma covered this in length in this press conference. He spoke about this. He left the ANC, but never left the ideas that the ANC stood for. I don't know how many times we have to explain this to the media, that the Jacob Zuma of MK is not the Jacob Zuma of the ANC. This one here is running this party the way he wants. This one here had many hands on the wheel, controlling to different directions. Because in the ANC, money rules everything. It's an honest truth, whether you want to hear it or not. You see, so again, mainstream media is going to obviously look at the the top 8 and try to criticize them one by one. Look at this one had this case, this one had this case, just so that you guys can say, "I but MK Gola in MK Gola ma criminal." or you can watch King Said So, and we enlighten you on what is happening.
Let's just take a look at also some of the announcements that were made today about that top 8, including yourself. When we look at the leader, President Jacob Zuma, he was embroiled in allegations of corruption. He was centered at state capture. When we look at the deputy president, Dr. John Hlophe, this is a judge that was impeached. And then, of course, the national organizer, Floyd Shivambu, with the linkages to the VBS drama. Then, of course, the chairperson, Nathi Nhleko, who can forget him, with that infamous fire pool situation. And yourself as well, Dr. Maseko, who was the CEO of Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital and also had allegations of maladministration and corruption. So if we've got at least 5 of your top 8 having faced some sort of allegations of corruption, albeit not tried, how much confidence do you then inspire to South Africans?
Thank you very much. Maybe let me start with myself. And I'm glad that you actually brought that. I'm a person who personally believes that certain things you don't necessarily have to take them through in terms of another process. What I'm happy about is that there's a report to that effect. It was politically motivated. It forms part of what I'm saying about the ANC, because the ANC, it became where even they are skilled and capable managers, as long as you are not within a certain faction, then you become attacked. I'm sure you did not stop there. You would have also researched in terms of how much impact and changed within the para that I personally did. It's unfortunate that that change happened to step on other people's toes because it was actually dealing with certain challenges within that. So let's leave that. There's a report, and that report, I can ask even the department to make it public. And you'll actually see that the opposite from the report, which was done by the reputable, I think Harris and a company, you'll see that it's actually the opposite of that. And I continued to serve within the department. Maybe the other comrades, they will have an opportunity to. But I think what one knows within that is what is in the public domain, as we say, about the Judge Hlophe. But also, again, I will implore you to go and look in terms of the record of Comrade DP. You will see that he has always been championing for the rights, especially the basic rights of the black community. You'll see that he has always been in the forefront of ensuring that our dignity is restored as a judge. He's also the most qualified, if we're to look at that. I'm fortunate that I happen to interact with him now at a leadership level.
Right.
I can vouch for him that he's also a true statesman and indeed has got impeccable record in terms of leadership.
Yeah.
Now, again, I wish the SG could have answered these questions more aggressively. Hi, if it was me, I was gonna take on these weak presenters. These are biased, weak presenters. They will never say, look, because I would say, no, take a look at what is happening in the ANC. The president and the deputy president, don't they have cases against them? What is happening there in Palapala and so on? In every political party, actually, we can name this. But we can identify that in the MK, and specifically about John Hlophe, about Nathi Nhleko, about Brian Molefe, about Montana, all of those guys, even about Floyd. It is an agenda to discredit quality black leaders. Because black people are easily fooled by mainstream media, by this thing we call television. They tell a vision and then African people believe that rubbish. That is why you guys have to run to podcasts and run to other sources of media, read, research, so that you educate yourself. Because some of these cases have been dropped. Why was John Hlophe impeached? Because he said to the judges, Lentole is in your hands. Just tembele nina. That's why he was impeached. And he was seen to say he's interfering with he's trying to influence other judges. That's why he was impeached. No other reason. And you look at his track record, you know what is going on. So for me, you look at even Floyd, you ignore all the other billions of rands that were stolen, you focus on 16 million. Huh? This is what is happening. But if you are not awake, South Africans, they will try to lie and paint the MK like this. I mean, other parties are run by criminals and presidents. Huh? Speaking about that, let's leave newsroom. Newsroom, say newsroom, they don't know what to do anymore. They don't know what to ask. They are not a credible news source. They showing us, but Tina, we are bought and this is how we run. They don't ask these questions to other political parties. They don't ask it to the DA that is corrupt to the core. The billions of rands that went missing in the Western Cape, millions of rands in the municipalities that have been stolen by DA mayors. All of those things. They don't ask them because they don't want you guys to know that the DA is corrupt, or if not more corrupt than the ANC. Now let's go to the SABC. Clement Manyathela asked another question that I thought, what? Ubuzani, Clement? Ubuzani? Huh? Are you guys going to have elective conference where you elect leaders? I'm sure 2 years is enough. After 2 years, you're going to elect whatever. Before I answer, let's listen to how the SG, Dr. Maseko, answered this question.
$1 or for anything.
But do you have timelines that you're setting? Because I would imagine you don't want to go 5 years without having members elect leaders. In your timelines and plans, when are you hoping we would have built the structures here? Is it in 2 years? Is it in 3 years?
In terms of our timelines, in terms of being present, we're saying by end of March, we should have, in terms of leadership, at the VT level. And the party is a party that focuses on the next key thing that it needs to achieve. So for 2026, and that is what really we're focusing to.
Local government elections.
Local government elections. And we're not stopping there. Our intention is to rule this country, to be the majority party in 2029. And that is what we are really focused within that. So that's what is capturing to our minds. Because if we start to put into our minds in terms of elective conferences, we are going to move away from the agenda that is to really fight and build a strong, capable leadership that we can deploy in Parliament.
To be clear, are you saying that it is possible that you may have not elected leaders or had an elective conference by 2026?
Yes, 2020, even 2029.
Even 2029,
yes.
It's possible that you may not have done it because your focus is on the ground.
Yes.
Are you not worried, though, that then, if you're building structures on the ground, a year or two, is that not sufficient for you to have members build branches and say, let them come and choose the leaders?
Not at all, because and I'm glad that you also mentioned that we've got Comrade Floyd, who's well experienced in terms of organizing. And part of his mandate is really in terms of political education, but also in terms of training, in terms of the cadre of MK, that it's a cadre that has to be selfless, a cadre that has to be committed, a cadre that has to ensure that there is change. Maybe let me take it, when we go to 2026, I'm sure the next question is then how are we going to have leaders that will be able to represent us? If it isn't, let me just clear it. We are going to use the communities. The communities are going to be the ones who are going to tell us who are going to represent them in the 2026 government local election. Because our focus is credible leadership that is going to make change in the society. But before we go for a society, we have to make change in the communities.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of...
Buffett, can we just understand that what is happening in the MK is not just a political movement, it's a spiritual movement. And if you are Jacob Zuma, you have to safeguard this by all means. And now, the way he's asking it, he's trying to say He's trying to discredit the MK party for not planning to have an elective conference where leaders, branches and whatever are going to, the ground forces are going to elect certain leaders and everything. Have you ever heard them ask Gayton McKenzie this question? How old is the PA? 10 years. Have you ever heard that the PA is going to an elective conference? Yeah? 10 years. 10 years. Never elected. They appoint people. Gayton runs that thing like a spaza shop. And it's okay when it's Gayton, but it is a dictatorship when it's Jacob Zuma. Yeah? Herman Mashaba, did they elect anyone there? Actually, I say I'm talking about big parties here. I'm not pointing smaller Yana parties. Well, they are small compared to the MK, but you understand what I'm saying. Big in terms of the relevance in each metro and in each province. They are there. They've got appearance on the ground. Actually, I say Herman Mashaba, he's the boss there, unchallenged. Nobody says anything. He's not a dictatorship. He's a gentleman. Jacob Zuma does it. This is dictatorship. This is tribalism and everything. I'm so disappointed by Clement Manyatela, but also it's expected because the SABC also has an agenda against the MK political party. Yeah. So I wanted to tell you guys, in closing, I'm going to, today is going to be about MK. I'm going to do Floyd Shivambo and I'll do the President Jacob Zuma later on. I wanted to tell you about something that caught my eye. You guys know that we are building Paseta, right? You guys know that we are building Paseta. Paseta is a black independent Pan-African school that is there to give an alternative option to the mainstream media, mainstream education sector in South Africa. To say our African children must learn from African schools that teach indigenous African subjects and that teach the proper African history and that equips our children properly in terms of the field of economics, the field of technology, the field of agriculture. But what I find that is very interesting, that is maybe that you have not caught this, is that Afrikaner people are building an Afrikaner university. They are busy building it in Pretoria. They have started with the plans and everything. This university is going to cost about 3 billion rand. 3 billion rand. Google it. It is done by the Solidarity movement. I told you guys about this. For those who don't know, the Solidarity movement, it's a mother body that has got 20 companies under it, 20 institutions under it, all of them Afrikaner. You've got your AfriForum there, you've got your Orania there, you've got the Afrikaner movement and all of those things, a historical movement, everything that has to do with preserving the Afrikaans culture, it is there in the Solidarity movement. They are building a university for 3 billion rand, ladies and gentlemen, so that they can take their own children to that university. Now, the question that we are going to be asked is that what did we do in our time? We can trust on the MK, we can trust on the EFF, and we can hope that these left-wing parties, one day they will come out and do good for us. But it is never guaranteed because politics is a very heartless game. Anything can change in any time. I told you guys that some of these politicians are not even going to see 2029 with their eyes. They will be 6 feet under the ground. It's a sad story, but very that's the reality of life. Some of us, we're not going to see. God willingly, our ancestors willingly, will get to 2029. That's why I said, before we go out of this earth, let us build a Pan-African school for the coming generation. I asked you guys, I said, I need 10,000 people to donate 50 rand per month. I said, 50 rand. Donate your 50 rand to the Paseta school so that we can build a lasting legacy for the generation to come. So that the day when we die, we sleep in peace, knowing that we have given the next generation a boost start, a starting, we gave them the baton in a fast lap. You understand what I'm saying? Let us not be the generation of social media, the generation of complaining always. The African people are busy securing the future for their children. Let's do the same for our children. Take this account number, deposit your 50 rand. Make sure that you make your contribution to the school. We are building the school. And we will build our universities also. Go on www.paseta.co.za to see what this Paseta is all about. If you want to know more, our WhatsApp number is there. Send me a WhatsApp. We even have different WhatsApp groups where we include our advisory panel. We've got the community hub. We've got the strategic members. We are working behind the scenes for you guys so that we can build the school for our children. The African people are working. Let's stop complaining and let's show them that we as Africans can do it well. Just if not better, we can do it the same way that they can do it. You understand what I'm saying, my African people? As if again, man. Let it trouble you in your heart that what is it that you're going to leave for the next generation? This thing of living the selfish life to say, no, my family is secured. My family is... It's not about family in the African community. It's about the community. It's about preserving the African culture, African language and everything. What are we doing for our children? Let's help government. Tina, as civil society, let's do something. Every day, man. So thank you so much for everyone that has contributed their money each and every beginning of every month, which is the 6th. I give you guys the financial report, how far we are and everything. So stay tuned, watch videos up until the end to stay up to date as to what is happening in Paseta. We also have Paseta Namibia. Other countries are joining us. I'll be announcing Paseta Angola and Paseta Uganda very soon. Paseta Zimbabwe also. So stay tuned so I can give you guys those information. If you want to work with us, we've got some expertise in the educational sector. Send us a WhatsApp. Let's team up together. Let's team up with your company. Let's team up with your skills so that we can build this thing together, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. Oh, wait. Tell me what you think about the character of the Secretary General of Mkhonto Wesizwe. The character. Do you love the character? Do you like the confidence, the way he speaks, projection, body language, facial expression? Are you happy with it? Go in the comment section and give me your honest opinion, respectfully so. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.
Apartheid didn't lose. Apartheid won.
Yeah.
Apartheid didn't lose. Not only did it win, it's still winning. The project of apartheid was not only about the exploitation of the many for the few. It wasn't just about making black people believe they were inferior. The more insidious project in apartheid, its most successful outcome, and I use the word successful for a lack of a better one, so don't get touched with that, is that apartheid was there to convince black people that none amongst them was worth anything. Kungako today, isitha somuntu omnyama, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozodiliza inkampani yomuntu omnyama, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozokuframe, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozokufaka ejele ngenzondo, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozokubamba ngenhliziyo athi sobona ukuthi uyophelela laphi, ngumuntu omnyama. To this day.